All right. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Aloha.
Aloha.
It's good to be back, and I've been asked to talk again about the Atlantic, what's going on, a few interesting things, and so I'll just pound through it before the alarm goes off.
Yep. And I can't turn it off.
So let's talk about just an overview of what's going on. There are current systems, and since last year that includes 8 planned systems, which from last year includes 3 new systems to that list. New cables are being proposed, and we're looking at some interesting new routing, possible buildup of the Mid-Atlantic U.S. to Europe route. South America to Europe is being built. South America to Africa is being built. We still see bandwidth requirements outpacing upgrades, and insatiable infrastructure requirements from OTTs, or at least that's the way it looks. And then the other issue out there are system age. We've got a lot of old cables still, or potentially old, depending on your perspective. So current systems. Average system length right now is about 10,000 kilometers, and we've had a fairly similar routing between the U.S. and Europe over the years. You've seen this list from '94 to present many times, I'm sure. Between 2004, 2014, we had no cables go in, and then in 15, 16, and 17, respectively, we've had 1 cable each year. So recently added systems. We've had 1 new system in 2017, which is Maria. The length was about 6,600 kilometers. Total capacity of 160 terabit. That's the highest capacity in the transatlantic route. It's also the highest single capacity cable in the world. And single-handedly, it increased the total transatlantic capacity by about 52%. It's the first system to go to the mid-Atlantic U.S. region, which is Virginia Beach. Capacity-wise, the Atlantic is still the highest capacity cable route. The total available capacity since 2015 increased by about 164%, pretty big number. It's had a steady capacity growth, has regular upgrades, absolute continued push from OTTs, which is driving most of the growth in the area, in the region. The average global lit capacity is about 15% in the transatlantic. In 15, it was 20%, in 2016, 22, and then with Maria coming online in 2017, it was about 18%. So looking at planned systems, there are 3 South America to Africa systems that are planned, 1 Europe to Mid-Atlantic U.S., 1 Brazil to Europe, 1 U.S. to Africa, and one of the new players is 1 Arctic to Europe, which is not a traditional cable route, and then 1 additional or 1 traditional transatlantic cable. Of that list, only 2 systems are CIF so far. So looking at where we were and where we think we're going, prior to 2015, all the cables basically followed the same North Atlantic routing. The first new route to the Mid-Atlantic was in 2017, and that was Maria. Future systems are pushing a South Atlantic routing, and almost all of these systems are OTT driven. Part of that's being driven by, if you look at Ashburn Data Center growth itself, since 2013 they've had a 76% growth, which is huge. So old versus new on capacity. 16 terabits was your average capacity for pre-2015 cable systems. Since 2015, we're looking at about 97 terabits. We have about 50 plus terabit average capacity for all planned systems going forward. And we're at a place where older systems are running out of upgrade paths and probably need some new stuff coming in. So let's take the negatives first. Some of the forward. Age. The pre-2015 cables are old. The average, excuse me, the average age is about 17 years, and they're running out of upgrade paths. We're going to start seeing those cables being knocked out. I don't mean knocked out, I mean taken offline. From a business perspective, there's still some question as to whether the traffic along some of the newer routes are going to work, and whether the low CIF rate is going to improve. Right now, we're looking at the end of 2017, we had a CIF rate of less than 30% on planned cables. Some cable systems seem to be stuck in a limbo, business limbo, getting through that business case cycle. Maybe that's going to change in the near term. And then the big outstanding question is, how long are the OTTs going to drive a lot of these cables? Is this insatiable appetite going to continue for the foreseeable future? On a price side, we still see a trend downward on pricing, and newer systems coming in can continue to push that trend downward. Technically, we're increasing capacity through 21 by something like 65%, and Murray is at 160, which is a third of our existing capacity right now. So, you know, there are concerns that we might have a lot to play with, but then again, maybe that's a good thing. But let's go positive. So, I don't think the OTTs are going away anytime soon. I think they're here to stay. And they have absolute guaranteed infrastructure needs. They need to be connected. OTTs are embedded in our daily life and increasing in everything we do from day to day. And on top of that, we use our mobile devices, cloud computing, in ways today that we couldn't dream of 5 years ago, and in 5 or 10 years, God knows what we'll be doing. So bandwidth demand is increasing. So some of the tech positives, the future cables are beginning to look, they're looking at new technologies. 400G is coming in. We're looking at new repeaters, new shore-end technology, and even new fiber. We have a guy that's looking to build fiber in outer space. Some of the market positives. Consumer demand is huge, not going away anytime soon. There seems to be an insatiable appetite for bandwidth by the OTTs, and new infrastructure's going in, and haven't seen a pause as yet. We have players out there like an Amazon that are in but not in. Are they going to jump in a bigger way? And then we have guys out there that you could call tier 2 OTTs, that some are just starting to get involved, but a lot can still get involved. And that's going to add demand to the cable. So closing thoughts. I could look at it really two ways, and I'll quote Subtel Forum's industry report. The current activity levels observed are great and should be enjoyed while they last. However, the industry must stay cautiously optimistic and not get taken in by promises of a build frenzy. Or I could take the other view, and I like to quote a Cajun out of New Orleans, "Laissez les bons temps rouler, let the good times roll." The decision is yours. Thanks.
Well, that takes us around, as far as we're concerned.